guys? It's Luke from lukegtv. Just a little thing before the video, you guys. This is for educational purposes only. I'm sharing my experience. I'm being transparent on what happened during my life in addiction. And I just wanted to note that domestic violence is not okay. It is not cool. And I just want to respect anyone who was a victim of domestic violence. However, in this story, the girl I'm talking about, she was a fake victim of domestic violence, and that's not okay either. That's not equally as messed up, but it is very messed up. And if I seem a little lighthearted and jovial about it, you guys, it's because I've told the story many times and I'm numb to it, which is not good. It's not bad. It is what it is. So, I really debated heavily making this video, but I feel that the truth needs to be said, and this is just my truth. So enjoy the video, guys. Thanks. Hey, Mr. Gerald, wake up. Wake up. You're being arrested. I'm like, what? What's going on? Dude, what are you doing? Quit annoying me. I'm trying to sleep, man. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of lukegtv, and I am your host, Luke G. Today we're going to be talking about the toxic ex-girlfriend. She was segmented in a lot of my earlier episodes. This was a crazy story. We had been through a lot. When I first had met her, it was like right when COVID started. I was deep in a fentanyl addiction. When we met, I even told her, I said, it probably isn't a good idea that you date me. I am full-blown scumbag, and I will take all your money. Your life will not improve if you are with me. Like always, guys, hit that like button. Subscribe if you already haven't. Comment on the video, and I'll always reply to you guys. I'm really good about it. So if you want to chat in the comments section, Papa Lukey's right here. So hey, let's get into this episode. So when I met this girl, March 2020, and COVID-19 had just hit. This girl, she was getting the COVID relief money. I was in the process of getting my COVID relief money, and it was just all a disaster waiting to happen. A mutual friend of ours introduced us to each other, a girl I had went into treatment with before. Me and this said girl had, some sort of a intimate relationship, but we never dated nonetheless. So I remember the night like it was yesterday. This friend of mine, we'll just call her B. B invited me over to her friend's house. She kind of hinted that they wanted to have a threesome, which I was kind of thrown off guard. I was just like, okay, it's like a Monday night. Why are you calling me to have a threesome on a Monday night? Oh, and also she said, if you got some benzos, bring those too. I had some benzos at the time. I was single, ready to mingle, and I was bored as a mother. I kind of contemplated. It was really late at night, and I was just contemplating it. They said, we'll Uber you over here. No worries. Just get over here. We want you in the house. I'm like, hey, why not? Let's go. The Uber comes, picks me up, and drops me off at some random ass apartment in St. Louis Park. I meet this girl. I'm talking to my friend Anne. We're flirting a little bit. Snapchats get exchanged. Then I end up leaving at some point. My friend B wanted me to leave, so I ended up just leaving. I think she, initially thought it was a good idea, but then got into her feelings, so I just skirted out of there. So anyways, me and this girl, we start drinking quite a bit. The drinking was escalating. There was nothing to do. It was the heat of COVID. And I remember one night in particular, this was about 2 weeks into us dating, I was getting 2-week take-homes of my methadone at a time. So they were giving me 13 bottles of methadone. I was only on 45 milligrams at the time. I had tapered down at that time too. And I was double dosing, selling my doses sometimes. And I was going through withdrawal and I was really cranky, and we were both drinking a lot of tequila that night. And I wanted to leave the house, and she wouldn't let me leave. I kept arguing. I'm like, hey, I want to leave. She basically started slapping me in the face. Well, as I was trying to get out, she's like doing this, like hitting me and like basically clawing me. I pushed her off me, and take in mind, we're both wasted at the time. And she literally, like, I can't even describe it. It was in like slow motion. She like tripped and whiplashed her head into the couch, right? Blood's everywhere. I'm like, oh, what did I just do? Come on, Luke, what's going on? So I console her. I'm like, hey, is everything okay? At first she's like, yeah, you know, she was very like upset with, you know, her nose being all bloody and stuff like that. But then the mood changed very quickly. It became, get the F out of my house, you POS, da. So I'm like, hey, let's bounce. So I leave up this frontage road, and there's a cop. Unbeknownst to me, there's a police officer right there, but I'm like, look, my head's just down. I'm just like, F this, what the fuck? You know, just kind of cursing up a storm. All of a sudden, the cop, whoop, turns his headlights on, and he comes and gets me. And I'm like, oh, man. And he's like, hey, there was a domestic assault reported at that apartment right there. Were you at that apartment? I tried to play it off. He arrests me, puts me in the car. Long story short, I make a trip to Hennepin County Jail once again. I'm sitting in the county. I'm sitting in there. I'm sick as shit because they don't offer methadone at the time, and I'm on methadone. So I'm in Hennepin County. I sit in there for like 4 days. I hadn't had any violent charges at this point. So they let me out on my own recognizance. Basically, they let me out without bail. And I get out, and I'm not going to lie, I was pretty pissed off at getting charged because originally the cop just charged me with a regular misdemeanor domestic. But because she went to the hospital and her nose was so messed up and blood was coming out of it, they gave me a 3rd-degree domestic assault felony level. And I was so mad. I'm like, all because I wanted to leave and I got hit first. Now, granted, I definitely should not have pushed her off of me. But, I mean, she knows, if she's watching this video, she knows I did not do that. And there's a lot more of a crazy story that happens after this. Anyways, I don't have much going for myself at the time. So, basically, I'm like, you know what? Let's go. The toxicity is in the air. I'm a drug addict. I don't got anything to lose. Let's run this. So the relationship, you know, it gets darker and darker. I mean, we have our good times, definitely, but the drugs start coming into the picture. Now, I was getting fentanyl from a friend of mine, and, you know, at first, it was just, she was buying me this fentanyl because I was sick, because I was double dosing my methadone, and whatever. But eventually she starts dibble-dabbling, and we're doing meth, we're doing fentanyl, and this just goes on for months. We just do this, do that, we're getting high, and then one day we wanted to do a speedball. I do mine first, of course, and I'm drunk by this point. I was like, I did not want her to inject this stuff. I was like, please, for the love of God, I am not going to put you on a needle, because she had never shot up before. And she basically said, listen, I paid for the drugs. I'm going to do them how I want to do them. So I'm like, you know, I mean, hey, Nancy's got a point, you know? And so begrudgingly, I start making her up the shot. I put a tiny amount of, you know, down in there, and I put a tiny amount of cocaine in there. I give her the shot, and within 20 seconds, lips are blue, unresponsive. We had a shot of Narcan there, and I tried Narcanning her. Still didn't work. Now you gotta realize, from this domestic that I got against her, I actually had a restraining order out at the time. And for whatever reason, I wasn't like, I think her phone was locked and my phone didn't have minutes, so I couldn't call an ambulance. So I went to this like laundromat, or it might have been a furniture store, but I went to this furniture store. I called 911. I said, hey, there's a girl overdosing in this apartment, in apartment 207. So I called them and they were like, wait, blah, blah, blah. And I just hung up the phone. So right in this area, it was on 394 and Louisiana in Minneapolis. If anyone knows where that is, there's a little bridge that goes over the highway. So I know that the cops are coming, right? I get going, I got my backpack on, I got a 175 of vodka in the back, and I proceed to climb over this bridge. Now, there was a Burger King, a Taco Bell, and Third Layer Skate Park, actually where I used to work as a kid. This is gonna sound bad, but like, as the paramedics and as she's overdosing, I proceed to go to Burger King to go get myself a Whopper and a chaser for my vodka. And there was a hill by this Burger King, and I proceed to sit on the hill, make a mixed drink of vodka and, just a fountain soda. And I'm sitting there eating my Whopper, drinking my mixed drink, and I'm watching just a flood of freaking police officers, ambulances, and I see the cops like going back and forth, and they're looking for me for sure because they knew it was me who called. So I'm drunk, I'm probably not paying attention. I think I actually went up to Menards, which is like behind there, so I kind of tried to get away from the main area. But eventually like 2 hours had passed, and like I go back to that Burger King and I start drinking. Well, at some point I pass out on this hill, and then I'm woken up to an unexpected person. Hey, Mr. Gerald, wake up, you're being arrested. I'm like, what's going on? Dude, what are you doing? Quit annoying me, I'm trying to sleep, man. Hey, you're going to jail, dude. I'm like, I'm going to jail? What? He said, yeah, for a no contact order against the girl across the street. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. So here we are. Within 2 months, I've been to Hennepin County Jail twice now because of this relationship. Should have been a red flag. Don't think I gave a shit. Was in active addiction. So the difference between this time going to jail was I knew that right when I got out, we were going to be back together, because at this point we were more emotionally attached. We had that bond, we had that trauma bond going, and I was in knee deep. You know what I mean? So I go in, and this time it's for a misdemeanor, but I was also on conditional release for the previous charge. So I broke my conditional release violation. I went in for this misdemeanor, and I was in and out in like 3 days this time. It wasn't too long. I get out, and we get right back to where we started from. We're going through a local Chicago crime syndicate group that sells opiates in the Twin Cities, and we were going through them, but their stuff was kind of crappy, and we had a personal friend who's my personal friend who we would go through, who had much better stuff. So we were right back to doing that Betty Fetty. So to say the least, the relationship kept getting more toxic and more toxic. There's more to come. There's more ups, there's more downs, there's more all arounds. And stay tuned for part 2, you guys. That should be coming tomorrow. I'm doing a little The Toxic X series. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. And also, you guys, I'm a small growing channel, so all donations would help. I'm trying to get a new camera so I can film videos like this more often. Feel free to email me, geraldluke@gmail.com. Stay tuned for another episode of lukegtv. I'm Luke, and I'm out. Peace.